What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to tell you about the time I tore my pants in public. And I'm not talking about like a tiny tear, I'm talking about a what kind of tear. So, first of all, I want to welcome you to this video, doing another live today. And this story, and why am I telling you this story? Because when I was younger, I used to think that, oh my god, confident people, they never make mistakes, they just don't make mistakes, they're like, I'm just so accident prone, I make so many mistakes, but I wish I was like these guys, they don't make mistakes. Now that I have kind of flipped my confidence around, I realized that confident people make a lot of mistakes. It's normal. Or successful people make mistakes. The difference is it just doesn't bother them so much, or they don't make as big a deal of it. So let me tell you my embarrassing story. It's quite funny, actually. So I went to, when back in the days when we used to be able to travel. Do you remember those days? We used to be able to go to different places. Yeah, back in those days. Anyhow, I traveled to Vietnam, and if you've ever been to Vietnam, it's a beautiful place, and obviously they had the Vietnam War back in the day, so there's a lot of history there, and a lot of tours relating to the Vietnam War that they had. So I go and I take this tour, and I go to something called the Cu Chi Tunnels. Now, the Cu Chi Tunnels is basically when the Vietnam War happened. Obviously, the Americans had a lot of money and they had a lot of weapons and planes, etc. The Vietnamese had nothing, so they had to improvise. And when your life is at stake, people improvise very, very well. And so what they did was they built a whole series of underground tunnels in which they could live in, so that, you know, when bombs hit, it wouldn't affect them. And it's a very elaborate sort of 200 kilometers worth of tunnels. It's very, very, very impressive. Hey Rick, great to see you, buddy. Yes, I remember the days of traveling. Yes. um, so anyhow, they have this whole series of underground tunnels that the Vietnamese, they used to live in and they used to fight out of. And also the Vietnamese were a lot thinner, so they used to have like very, very narrow tunnels that they could easily kind of come up and ambush any enemies that came. So anyhow, I go and see this. I go on a tour to go and see these Cu Chi tunnels, and it's about 2 hours from my hotel. I'm wearing shorts, and luckily I took a rain jacket because it was, it could rain. So we go to one of these tunnels, and there's a photo opportunity. So I can get into one of the tunnels. So you get into the ground, and you put the camouflage head thing on top of you, and then I come out to take a picture. Great photo opportunity. So there's me. I come out. I take this awesome picture of me, like my head sticking out of the tunnel, like camouflage. Amazing picture. When I step out of the tunnel, like I come out of the tunnel, and it's quite thin, like I said. So when I'm like squeezing out, and then when I brought one of my legs out, I hear this, and I'm like, oh no, oh. So I kind of quickly just bring my other leg out before anybody sees. Now I'm in a tour group. I'm 2 hours away from my hotel, and I'm at the start of a 2-hour tour. Okay, just bear this in mind. I'm at the start of a 2-hour tour. I'm 2 hours away from my hotel, and I go, like, we're in the jungle, so like I go behind a tree very quickly, and I look down, and I just see like just to, you might have little tears. This wasn't a little tear. This was, I was wearing like a band around my around my shorts, and I had one pant leg and nothing in the middle, basically, right? It was it was it was interesting, okay, to say the least, right? Like, so I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? So luckily I have my rain jacket. So what I do is I take off my rain jacket, and I put it around my my waist, and I tie it. Oh, Sarah wants to say hello.
Hi,
Hey. All right. Come.
wake my mother.
No, not yet, not yet. All right. So I tie this waistcoat around my jacket, but when I tie it normally, it still shows my front. So I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. And if I tie it around the front, and then it exposes my back. So I'm like, oh my god, what am I going to do? So then I put it to the side. I put it to the side, and and then it's covering a bit of my front and covering a bit of my back. So now I walk out and I gotta act super cool. Super cool. Yes, yes. Okay, Sarah really wants to say hi. This is what happens on a live. You're telling a story. Say hi to
I
everybody.
know what to do when you're wearing a jacket. You tuck it in your socks so it will not get anywhere.
That's right. You tuck it in your shorts before it goes in. Listen, go and say hi, Mama. I'll be back down.
Mama's
Okay.
going to sell
Okay.
to show a family.
So, I've got this jacket and I have to cover my front and my back, so I've tied it to the side. So then I start walking around, and this is when I realized I just gotta act cool. So I acted like nothing had happened. I just normal walking around in with people, and they're not looking down because I'm not looking down. I'm not being conscious of what's showing, so I'm not letting people be conscious of what I'm showing. But here's the crazy part. The Coochie tunnels, they have a lot of places that you can go down, and at one point you have to crawl through a tunnel. So you have to get on all fours to crawl through a tunnel. So there's a place that these guys on tour, they just think Omanis are the most polite people ever, because I go to the front of the tunnel and then I'm like, after you, and they're like, no, after you. I'm like, no, I insist, please, no, it will be an insult, please, go after you, please, no, you go first, no. And I'm just letting people go. Every single time I would be the last person, because obviously I have to crawl on my legs and I don't want people to see my backside. And the whole time nobody noticed a thing. And I just kept cool. I laughed with everyone. I joked with everyone. I just didn't draw any attention to it. I didn't look embarrassed. I didn't seem embarrassed. I wasn't embarrassed. I was just like, you know what? This is going to be a funny story that I can tell one day, and it is. So Jessica's laughing at my story. Yes. Hey, Jessica. Pleasure to see you. John, yes, I know. I'm gonna get on Clubhouse. It's an Apple product. So yeah, Ricky's saying she's adorable. Yeah, I'm dying. Great visual. Yeah, and the crawling. Oh my God, you guys don't even understand. But here's the crazy part. I saw a few people from the tour the next day, and I asked them. They were a group of them, and I asked them, "Hey, did you guys know that I had torn my pants?" And none of them even realized. I had spent 2 hours with them with exposed bits, and I gotta say, my raincoat wasn't like super covering, but because I didn't draw attention to it, they didn't pay attention to it. Because I didn't seem crazily disturbed by the whole thing, they weren't crazily disturbed by the whole thing. So anyhow, I thought I'd tell you this, and just so that you could realize that sometimes, being even if you're confident, people make mistakes, and if you're not confident, sometimes if you make a mistake, worrying about it or making a big deal about it also draws people's attention to it. And if you don't make a big deal about it, no one's going to know. So if you're as a speaker, for example, if you forget to say something and you go, oh my God, I forgot to talk about this thing and da da da, then if you hadn't said anything, people wouldn't have noticed. People wouldn't know. But if you do make a big deal out of it and you become uncomfortable, your audience might become uncomfortable. So it's a crazy story, but hopefully you enjoyed that, and quite a powerful little and in the description of this video I actually have the link that I recorded that day and the next day, and you can actually see the pants and the tear and how big that tear was. Because I mean, I was on tour, so I've got my video camera, and I just thought, you know what, this is going to be a great story one day. I was like, why not one day? Let me record it now and give proof of it. So in the link, go and check out the video. I hope you enjoyed my story. Other than that, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, and I will catch you on another episode real soon. Sarah, do you want to come and say goodbye? Sarah, don't go. Okay, come. Yes, he's asleep. All right. Sarah wants to say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you on another episode soon.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people to go and check out my YouTube channel?
Go and check out his super
my YouTube channel. And you can see that video in the link.
Muneer.com.
Visit Muneer.com. I'm training them. This is my marketing team. All right. Catch you guys on an episode real soon. Bye for now.